Kia ora and good evening. Welcome to 240 Seconds. Tonight we look at mass tourism. What is it and how does it affect our environment? Regions all over the globe are being exploited through mass tourism. Places such as Egypt, where the pyramids are being polluted, largely through mass tourism. Even New Zealand's national parks are suffering at the hands of overseas visitors. Later, we'll look at Cancun as a representation of the many environmental issues happening as a result of mass tourism. But first, Dr. Jubir joins me here in the studio. Welcome, Daniel. It's great to have you here on the show tonight.
It's a pleasure to be on the show, John.
So, Daniel, tell us, what is mass tourism and why is it a global environmental issue?
Well, John, mass tourism is the phenomenon of large amounts of tourists travelling to a single place. This practice is then exacerbated by last chance tourism.
But Daniel, what's the problem then? Isn't tourism good for the economy?
Yes, it is, John, but there is globally a lack of awareness and further a lack of responsibility for the environmental impacts arising from mass tourism. Let's say you have a remote, pristine beach in a tropical part of the world. This attracts the interest of companies which move in and convert it into an upscale travel destination. Soon more developers will move in and competition arises. To fill rooms, rates and standards are lowered and the place becomes a destination for cheap mass tourism. This rapid and unregulated expansion is responsible for the environmental degradation of the immediate areas. Developers then move on to other attractive areas and the process starts all over again, creating a kind of feedback loop.
Thanks, Dan. After the break, we'll look at the effects of mass tourism on the city of Cancun. Here at Flight Hub, we guarantee the lowest airfares.
Fly to Cancun for only $19.99. Enjoy fantastic lagoons, wildlife and pristine beaches when you holiday in this tropical Caribbean peninsula.
Call Flight Hub now. Welcome back. With its pristine beaches, thriving nightlife and tropical lagoons, Cancun is one of tourism's top destinations. But what impacts does this level of tourism have on the environment scale? Amy Van Lint reports.
Separate from the mainland, the almost unrecognisable 1970s Cancun island contained lagoons once home to a variety of life and nesting sites. Development began in the mid-1960s to produce a planned utopia aiming to generate revenue and boost the Mexican economy. Large companies and private investors poured money into the project. Tourists flocked, the hotel industry boomed, and building restrictions relaxed to allow for the growth of the industry. Unbeknownst to the average tourist, the mass tourism that followed led to severe environmental degradation. Marine life are subjected to runoff from coastal construction, poor waste management systems, damage from anchors, boats, and other tourist activities. The causeway connecting Cancun Island to the mainland restricted the flow of fresh water into the lagoons, promoting contamination and driving out wildlife. Furthermore, poorly managed rubbish dumps polluted groundwater. And finally, the tourism sector contributes to 5% of global carbon emissions. So, when planning that dream holiday, take a moment to think about what you might be supporting and ask yourself, is personal gain more important than the intrinsic value of our natural environment? I'm Amy Van Lint, reporting for 240 Seconds.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us tonight, we have Dr. Jubir here in the studio with us discussing the effects of mass tourism. So Daniel, what can we then do to combat mass tourism?
Well, John, there are a few things that can help to mitigate the negative environmental impacts of mass tourism. Firstly, local government needs to work closely with developers and investors to provide sustainable tourism management systems in regards to water and waste management, building consents and a general understanding of the local ecosystem and its cultural heritages.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Daniel, and for providing that insight of mass tourism. Well, I'm afraid that's all we have time for tonight, so till next time, ka kite and good evening.